From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story: sentencing was held this afternoon in Fairbanks Superior Court for a man accused of assaulting a 3-year-old boy.
The defendant had a near 13-year criminal history prior to the brutal assault that authorities say happened after he took a combination of drugs. Witnesses in court this afternoon took to the stand to testify about the assault of a 3-year-old boy from the defendant, 27-year-old James Cook. Troopers on scene said Cook attacked the child in a drug-induced rage. His blood tested positive for both meth and the drug spice.
He was what looked like in and out of consciousness. He was sitting in the passenger seat. He didn't really recognize me. He didn't, look at me, motion to me, anything like that. He had bumps and bruises all over him, like he had been in a fight or at least got beaten up.
The state entered over 20 photos of various injuries the boy sustained during the incident. The state's witnesses testified the boy's injuries covered his entire body.
We called his name and he did not respond. So we tried physical stimuli, which is shaking him or tapping him, and he opened his eyes briefly and then closed them.
Cook had previously accepted a plea deal and was facing a count of third-degree felony assault for the incident. The boy's family testified the brutal attack has left him with nightmares and flashbacks.
He has the hardest time trusting anybody now, my entire family to be exact. Did he even say one single word to you? Did he beg you to stop? Or was he so terrified he couldn't say anything at all?
I was not in the right state of mind. I would never ever do anything like that. I'm not that type of person, Your Honor.
Superior Court Judge Bethany Harbison imposed the maximum sentence of 5 years with 18 months suspended for the assault charge. Cook will serve an additional 90 days jail time for other charges in the case. I'm Stephanie Woodard reporting. The Fairbanks man who was a subject of an armed standoff and later ran from authorities again was in court this morning, this time to take a plea deal from the state. 38-year-old Michael Bracht has been in custody since troopers found him near Tok earlier this year after he escaped his court-appointed third-party custodian. That incident was reported after another plea deal with the state had been reached. Today, Bracht pleaded guilty to fourth-degree escape, which is a misdemeanor. As part of the deal, Bracht would be on probation for a period of 1 year. However, he rejected probation and will remain in custody for that time, which equates to 9 months. In addition, the deal states that charges will not be filed against Bracht in another pending case with the Alaska State Troopers. Bracht previously pleaded to reduce charges for his initial standoff at Justice Store and was ordered to serve 32 months jail time for that offense.
For close to a year, the Interior Gas Utility has held modestly attended neighborhood meetings on the natural gas distribution project in North Pole. Now that right-of-way land clearing has begun, the latest meeting was well attended by an extremely vocal group of residents.
We sent out the mailers and all that. No, you did not.
Concerns over property damage, inaccurate locations, stolen wood, and a lack of communication were raised with IGU staff at the North Pole Library last night. Right-of-way clearing began in March for the first of a 6-phase project to install natural gas distribution lines. Many of those right-of-way easements have been untouched for 30 years, and residents say they were caught off guard by the clearing. Up to 80 miles of pipe will be installed this summer during Phase 1, which includes much of the North Pole area. However, there is not a current plan in place to bring natural gas to the interior. Area resident Larry White is receptive to gas, but says the IGU has done a poor job communicating.
Anything, I'd like to be a poster child for the gas line. But they are handling this so wrong in the lack of just notifying people of what we're going to do, why we're doing it, and also maybe a basic explanation of the law. This is not your property. It does not belong to you.
All right, when we come back, for the first time in 17 years, the State House has voted to increase hunting, fishing, and trapping license fees.
And in our weekly military report, Alaska Army National Guardsmen are preparing to leave for Kuwait. These stories and more when we return. And welcome back. The Alaska House today advanced legislation that would increase the cost of hunting, fishing, and trapping in the 49th state. They voted 33-7 to pass Representative David Tallarico's bill that would increase license fees for the first time in 17 years for non-residents and 24 years for residents. The bill would also change the minimum age for a license from 16 to 18. Lawmakers approved an amendment to allow individuals with developmental disabilities to have someone else hunt or fish for them through proxy. The bill now goes to the Senate for consideration. Proponents say the increased fees will offset recent cuts to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, while opponents say it's another example of taxing residents while oil companies skate.
Reminds me of the Murkowski administration a little bit, where he said no new taxes, but we virtually did exactly that with all the user fees that we added on to Alaskans.
I've been able to enjoy Alaska's resources for quite some time. So I look forward to those opportunities to continue. I think we assure ourselves that those will continue.
The Fairbanks Bureau of Vital Statistics office on South Cushman will close permanently on April 30th. It's one of the many impacts of reductions being made in the Alaska budget this year. With major deficits caused by low oil prices, lawmakers and the governor have made serious cuts, with few offices in the state being spared. Beginning Friday, May 1st, Fairbanks area residents' requests for birth certificates, marriage certificates, and other services can be mailed or faxed to the Juneau Vital Statistics office. New marriage license applications can be completed at the Fairbanks Courthouse at 101 Lacey Street. More information can be found online. The link is on our website, webcenter11.com. One employee of the office that's closing is a longtime state worker who now isn't sure exactly what she'll do.
I do not know, because I've been working with the state for 20 plus years at DMV for 10, and then over here at over 10. So it's going to be rough because there's not any really jobs right now in the state for Fairbanks. So it's going to be different.
Alaska Army National Guardsmen from the 207th Aviation Regiment were working late last month to complete pre-deployment training at Fort Hood, Texas. Monty Bowen has more in this week's military report.
The troops were training before leaving for Kuwait, where they will provide aviation support with UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters to U.S. and coalition forces in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Staff Sergeant Melissa Stevens, a maintenance supervisor, said it's true what they say. Wait 5 minutes. If you don't like the weather in Texas, it'll change.
We left home, it was below zero, and then we come out here, and 90% of us have never had to deal with as much dust as we have here. But our birds are not used to this environment and the dust.
It's kind of been slowly getting us acclimated to the hot desert environment in Kuwait.
Just get your reps, and then we'll tighten it at the end.
The pre-deployment training has been excellent. I've got a wonderful, very motivated group of soldiers that came down here with a hard charging attitude.
What's the minimum number of reps you need for a tail?
They've been really great to work with here. Outstanding group of soldiers.
They're willing to learn. They're eager to learn. I want to train my troops as much as possible. I want them to get the most out of this year that we're away from home. Our mission is to make sure our birds fly and that our crews are safe.
You're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work, and thank you for your service.
We're coming together slowly, and we all miss home, and we can't wait to get home.
The backing they get from the public makes it all worthwhile.
You know, we really appreciate the support of the folks back at home. You know, that's why we serve in the Alaska Army National Guard, because we want to be part of our nation's defense, but we also want to be there for the people that, you know, we love back home. We really appreciate their support.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
All right, thanks to them for their service, of course, as always.
That's right. Now switching to sports, really big news today for Interior Sports.
That's right, a local player makes history by signing a Division I national letter of intent. Were you trying to keep me hanging there?
I was. And a West Valley coach resigns from his position today. We'll have more on that with Joe after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here this Wednesday night with your midweek sportscast. This may very well be one of the greatest classes of athletes Hutchinson High School has ever had. A couple of weeks ago, Sam Wilt was the first Hutchinson wrestler to sign a national letter of intent. Well, today, a volleyball player also made history. Hutchinson's Lena Heinrichs will continue her volleyball career at NCAA Division I University of New Hampshire. Lena is Hutchinson's first volleyball player in school history to sign at a D1 school and is the fourth athlete in Hutch history to go straight to a D1. She's only played 2 years of varsity volleyball, but always improved since her freshman season on the JV team. This past volleyball season, the 6'4" middle blocker was named most valuable player and was selected to the Aurora All-Conference team. Lena is also the defending 1A through 3A state champion in the high jump. Heinrichs will be the tallest Wildcat on the roster next year. She has a 4.1 GPA and plans to major in molecular biology at UNH. The Wildcats have won the last 2 American East titles and have made consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. Heinrichs was not recruited at all, but she took the initiative to call UNH head coach Jill Hershinger after seeing the school was a fit academically.
I just called her and asked her if she was looking for anybody else for the 2015 season. And she said, sure, we can look at you. That was about it. I originally looked at New Hampshire for the academic purpose of it, and volleyball was sort of like a second idea. And there they have a really good biochemistry and molecular and cellular biology program. Ultimately, it'd be nice to become a really good player for them and sort of achieve what they're looking for in me.
And another huge announcement today, this from the West Valley basketball program. West Valley boys basketball head coach Kamani Shotwell has resigned. In his own words from his Twitter account, Shotwell said, quote, "To all the young men that I've coached, I hoped that I was able to teach you half of what I've learned from you all. To the staff and admin at West Valley, thank you for trusting a then 22-year-old fresh out of college to lead the West Valley basketball program. And to Fairbanks, thanks for embracing me as your own and supporting my goal of helping the kids of this town achieve their dreams. My time here has been a blessing, and I will always cherish my time as a leader of the pack. I am moving on for no other reason than that I believe this will help me progress professionally and personally," end quote. Shotwell is a former Alaska Native basketball player, and in his 4 seasons at West Valley, he compiled a 47-34 record. He won his first MAC title this past season, ending a 10-year drought for the Wolfpack, and finished 4th at the state tournament in back-to-back seasons. The local high school spring sports season will start this weekend. Here's a preview of a couple of soccer teams that will be in action.
It's opening week for the interior soccer season. Friday at 5:30 on the new turf fields at the FYSA Soccer Complex, the North Pole and Lathrop girls will play in the MAC opener. This year, the Patriots have a young group with lots of potential.
Well, we have a lot of young players, and we're starting to develop as a team, really work together on and off the ball, which I think is really going to help us. But going outside yesterday, it really helped us notice that we're playing kind of narrower instead of out wide. So we just got to work on that. But I think getting outside will definitely help with that.
12-year head coach Clay Clark sees his team doing great things other than scoring.
I think for the most part, all of our defenders are returning from last year. We have Sapphire Robinson back. She didn't play last year, and so she played the last 2 years before that. She's a senior, so I think that our defense is going to be really solid.
Also at 5:30 on Friday, the West Valley boys will play Eielson in their first interior game. The Wolfpack split their first 2 games of the year against Colony and Wasilla. The Pack are on the hunt for their 8th MAC title in 9 years. Braden DeWeese and Tanner Cool lead a core group of returners, but chemistry will be key.
Yeah, we got a lot of people returning and a lot of players that we've been playing around for the last few years, and we're finally joining together as a one team, so it'll be interesting to see the chemistry that comes out. I know that there's a lot of skill on this team, so if we can come together and play as one, we got a good team.
For us, it's about playing better and getting better each game, trying to possess the ball, get used to this surface, and playing well. I mean, this is lovely. For soccer players to have this is what we've been asking for 2 decades, to be out here now. Look at the weather. You know, it's 45, sunny, and we're out here, and there's snow everywhere else, and we're playing soccer, and it's just beautiful.
And lastly, here's a reminder to get your votes in for the Kraft Hockeyville contest and help the Big Dipper Ice Arena. The Dipper could get $150,000 in arena upgrades if they are to win, and that is Kraft with a K. You can text the word Dipper to 35350. You can also vote 50 times per day. You can vote online. You can also vote by calling the toll-free number 1-855-255-5975. Again, that number 1-855-255-5975. So you can call, text, and vote. The voting ends this Thursday, April 16th at 7:59 Alaska time. So not that much time left. You can vote 50 times per day by text, voting online, also calling that 1-800 number. So you can get in 150 votes per day until that deadline. The Final Four for the contest will be announced this Saturday. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our Wednesday night newscast. Mike Schultz once again talking about weather. And what can we say about today? But man, it was just fantastic. No clouds around. We were expecting some isolated showers. Those didn't even pop up. And the good news is temperatures are expected to be in the low to mid 50s this weekend all the way through the first part of next week. So that snow is going to be melting really rapidly. And the good sign of spring is when all the fishermen start coming out and getting in their fishing on the slough, in the Badger Slough. This was captured by Jenna Bruner, and she calls it combat fishing on the slough for obvious reasons. I guess that's a good sign. You see the fishermen out there going after it. And as always, if you have a photograph, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here's your numbers for today. 46 our high. The low last night, 21. Record high up to 61 in 1915. Only 13 below in 1964. And our sunrise and sunset, 15 hours and 18 minutes. A gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite and radar, once again, all the moisture is trapped down south of the Alaska Range, and it continues that way because the flow is perfect to have the Alaska Range block all the moisture from coming into the interior. Again, a lot of rain falling across southeast Alaska and showers over the Prince William Sound and the Kenai Peninsula. On our map today, you can see the rain once again showing up at Juneau and Ketchikan, and even a few showers around the Anchorage Bowl, 46 degrees there. Kodiak, 42, partly cloudy, and along the Aleutian Chain, it's cloudy skies at Cold Bay. And then moving back up the west side, once again, cool temperatures at Nome, only 14 degrees there, 7 above at Barrow, and a nice day in Fort Yukon, 39, lots of sunshine. Lower 48 weather looks like this, and no rain to report up and down the western side of the country, and basically a chilly day in Salt Lake City, 34 degrees. Thunderstorms have returned to parts of Texas and across the Bayou country. Nice day in Minneapolis, 70 degrees there. Over the northeast, looking at 70 also at New York, and down around the Miami area, 86 degrees, lots of sunshine. On the satellite and radar, you can see again pockets of moisture moving across from the southwest to the northeast. That's helping to fuel those thunderstorms in the afternoon. A little pocket of moisture here bringing some higher elevation snows to the northern Rockies, while on the west coast, not much going on. In fact, it's really nice up and down the west coast, and it's going to be warm tomorrow. As you can see, a high fire danger over parts of Southern California, warm temperatures all over California, and that means the drought will continue, unfortunately. The new jet stream outlook for this weekend is calling for a big dip down to the south. That means probably some very severe weather breaking out in the bottom of this dip here. We've got to keep an eye on that as more storms are expected over the eastern half of the country. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like for the northern sections. Flurries and fog for Barrow, sunny skies for Nome, and some mixed showers in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at just scattered clouds for Fairbanks and Delta, chance of some rain and snow showers around the Healy region, and temperatures near 50 degrees once again. The forecast for southeast Alaska, showers for Juneau, and showers will become mainly a steady rain in the Ketchikan region. And over the southwest part of the state, we're looking at cloudy skies at Cold Bay, partly cloudy in Bethel, and some snow showers for Kodiak. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, not too bad. Rain showers at Anchorage, rain in Valdez, and rain and snow showers for Homer. It's time once again for our kids' weather, and once again, all this we're going to be talking with the kids from Badger Road Elementary School. Tonight, here's a young man with a weather question.
Hi, my name is Dayton from Mr. Dixon's 4th grade class from Badger Road Elementary. And I want to ask the weatherman a question. What makes the energy to make the wind blow?
Well, that's a good question, and a couple of things come into play here. First, the rotation of the Earth plays a major role in developing wind, but you also have areas of high pressure and low pressure, and when the pressure drops, all of a sudden the air flows down to the lowest point and rises on high pressure. And that's what gives you your different categories of wind across the world. Next question. And again, tomorrow night, we'll have another question, this time from the teacher. And the teacher is actually going to have a weather fact about the hottest temperature ever recorded. You'll have to stay tuned for that. Here's your forecast for tonight. Continue mild with no showers expected in the area. 25 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, 47 degrees, warmer and cloudy. Any showers will be over the hills. And we'll listen to Joe when he sees this 5-day outlook. You ready for that? Look at those temperatures on Saturday. Yeah, 50s, mid-50s, even upper 50s possible right on through the weekend. And the temperatures will also be rising on the overnight hours too, looking at the overnight lows of 30 degrees above and no precipitation expected. And are you ready for this? We could possibly see 60s later next week.
Yay, that's exciting.
We won.
We won.
We made it through winter.
We did. We made it through.
Well, it's really good for the athletes because they all get to practice outside, and then all the track meets and all that kind of stuff. And, you know how they always get canceled. Yeah, this is really good for them. That's
I know they're excited.
It's good for me because I don't have to wear a jacket anymore. Woo!
All right.
I'm
more
serious.
shoulder pads.
I'm over jackets.
Okay.
No more shoulder pads, huh?
Okay, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, a former NFL Patriot receiver, Aaron Hernandez, is found guilty of first-degree murder. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a good night.
Good night.